Hello everyone. Last week we looked at algebraic equations with variables on the same side of the equation. This week we're going to look at equations with variables on both sides of the equation. So I'm going to do 5 examples for you explaining each step. Then in the Nearpod you'll also see a worked out example step by step. So let's look at example 1. We have 6x plus 5 equals x plus 15. So the first thing you want to do is separate the two sides of the equation. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line down the center of my equal sign. So if you notice, we have 6x here on this side of the line and x on the right side of the line. Well, we can't combine them just yet because they're on opposite sides of the line. So what we want to do is we want to bring the x on this side, on the right side, over to the left side. So since this is just a positive x, we can subtract it on both sides. So if I subtract x on both sides, the x's on the right side will cancel. I'm left with 6x minus x. And remember, when it's just an x by itself, really it's 1x. So 6x minus 1x is 5x. So I'm left with 5x plus 5 equals 15. Now I have a two-step equation. So the goal is always the same, to solve for the variable, which in this case is x. So I want to add or subtract first, which it's plus 5, so I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides. My 5's will cancel. I'm left with 5x equals 15 minus 5 is 10. Now I'm going to multiply or divide. This is 5 times x, so I'm going to do the opposite and divide by 5 on both sides. My 5's will cancel, and x equals 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, let's look at a second example. I have 3x minus 4 equals x plus 8. So I'm going to go ahead and separate both sides of my equation. Okay, again, I have x's on the left side and x's on the right side. So it just makes it simpler to bring this 1x and subtract it on this side, because if I try to subtract 3x on each side, it will work out in the end, but trying to take a larger number from a smaller number, you're going to have a negative on that side. So it just makes sense to subtract the smaller number from the larger number. So again, I'm going to cancel my x's. Remember, this is 3x minus 1x. So I have 2x. I bring down my minus 4 equals, I have 8 left on this side. Again, I have a two-step equation. So I want to get rid of this minus 4 by doing the opposite and adding 4 on both sides. My 4's will cancel. I'm left with 2x equals 8 plus 4 is 12. 2x equals 12, or 2 times what number? I do the opposite and divide. My 2's cancel. X equals 6. Okay. Let's look at one more example here, and then we'll look at 2 more. I'm going to separate both sides of the equation. Now again, I have an x on my left and an x on my right. It just makes sense to subtract 3x on both sides, because 5 minus 3 will just give me 2x, a nice positive 2x. Remember to cancel those. Equals 12. Okay. Two-step equation again. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. My 8's will cancel. I'm left with 2x equals 12 minus 8 is 4. I divide by 2, divide by 2, and I have x equals 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, let's look at 2 more examples together. The example 4 here, again, same exact steps. I'm just going to separate both sides of my equation. I want to get all of my x's on one side. So if I want to get rid of this 2x, because remember, 2x minus 2x is just 0. That's why that works. I subtract 2x on this side. So I have 12x minus 2x. I have 10x. I bring down my plus 10, because I can't forget about the rest of the numbers yet, equals, I just have 40. And it's a positive 40, so I can bring it just down like that, just 40. Now, again, two-step equation. I'm going to get rid of this plus 10 by subtracting it on both sides. The 10s will cancel. I'm left with 10x equals 40 minus 10 is 30. My last step would be to divide by 10 on both sides to get x by itself. The 10s will cancel. X equals 30 divided by 10 is 3. Okay. One more example here. We have 6x plus 7 equals 5x plus 10. Again, I'm going to separate both sides of my equation here. I want to get all the 5's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 5x on both sides. 6x minus 5x just gives us 1x, and we can write it just like that. So I have x plus 7 equals 10. So this is a little simpler, because really the only thing that's preventing x from being by itself now is this plus 7. So if I get rid of this plus 7 by subtracting it on both sides, I have x equals 10 minus 7 is 3. Okay? So like I said, there's a worked out example in the Nearpod for you. You can watch this video as many times as you need to. For assignment 2 and assignment 3, I suggest that you work the problems out on paper first before doing the interactive game for assignment 2 and the Google form for assignment 3. Okay, email me with any questions.